Hey everyone, it's Lou Joseph with Remax Preferred Realty here. Just coming to you today to talk about the month of June 2020 and how that month went for the real estate market here in Windsor, Essex County. Some of you may be surprised, some of you maybe not, especially the ones that are in the market right now, selling and also buying. You see it firsthand of what's going on. We have the month of June, we have listings that are up, we have sales that are down slightly compared month to month, and of course the price has gone up quite dramatically month over month. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the numbers and get an idea. As far as being on the ground, working with clients, listings are obviously getting a lot of showings on listings, and we are still in multiple offers for our listings. Getting over asking, and also working with buyers has been a challenge for some points. If you're looking under 300,000, definitely you're competing with a lot of buyers. There's a lot of qualified buyers in that price range, so there is a lot of situations where it's very difficult to purchase a home in that price range. And I'm finding clients that are looking for homes upward of 500, 600,000. They're expecting more for their money, especially if they haven't been introduced to the market yet. They're just starting to look. They're expecting something really spectacular for that price, and in some cases, there's a lot of resale that maybe needs a little bit of work, or it didn't meet their expectation level as far as that. So there is some educational process when you get out there, when you're looking to buy and sell. And you need an agent, obviously, that's going to be patient with you and not going to put any kind of pressure on you. You need to feel out the market yourself and get an idea for what's going on. We have a lot of different factors going on in this year. Obviously, we have Windsor just going into phase 2, and that means that we're serving food and outdoor patios. People are getting out a little bit more. We still have Leamington. That area is still under quarantine a little bit more, especially with the migrant workers being affected by the coronavirus. And what we're seeing here is that people are getting a little more confident. They're giving me a call. They're saying we're in the market now. We're looking to buy and sell. Our borders are still closed. I have some U.S. clients that we're looking to purchase, but they can't make it across yet. So they have to wait and see. Obviously, the U.S. Numbers as far as the corona cases are very high compared to Canada. So I'm not sure when that border might be open, but that's the situation here, being a border city. We are also losing the third shift at Chrysler's, and we don't know exactly how that is going to trickle down as far as unemployment levels. It could very well affect the market. I'm not sure if it's going to be immediate or if it's going to be a long-term thing, but this is definitely a big deal, I feel, going forward. So if you're an investor and you're looking to purchase, say, some income property right now, you might want to sit down and wait to play this out and see how things pan out. But if you're obviously looking to move into a home and you need to be in a home right away, as far as getting your kids into school in September, which we don't know exactly how that's going to work. I'm hearing different things. I'm hearing 1 week on, 1 week off at school, or 2 days on, 2 days off. So that hasn't been figured out yet. But usually people want to settle their family down before September. So I think that we're still going to have some market activity as far as the single family residential goes. The builders are still busy building homes, and the price points are increasing for resale and new builds. But interest rates being this low, you can lock in at a very low rate, which make this market affordable. Now, obviously, if the interest rates were a point or two higher, a percentage or two higher, now that's going to factor in. The banks are also looking at changing some of their lending practices. The criteria have changed a little bit as far as CMHC is concerned. There are some things that are going to be present in the market that might affect the market as far as it moving upwards from here. But as a real estate agent, all we can do is just react to what we have today, and we can't really predict the future. So let's keep tight, and let's go through the update here, and you let me know if you have any questions afterwards. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, we are back, and I'm on the Windsor Essex County Association of Realtors website here, and we're looking at the statistics for June 2020. So we're looking at market activity for June, and we are down 7.35% compared to June of last year. Now basically we're halfway through the year here, so we can take a look and see how this year is shaped up. So we see that the listings stay pretty equal month over month, January, February, and March. Where we had the dip was the 2 months where we had quarantine action happening, and you see definitely lower listings in these periods. Now it looks like we're getting on pace to resume our inventory. So inventory looks like it's coming back up. If you see these 3 months in a row, it's on the rise. So this is a good thing for buyers, obviously. So we'll have to see how next month shapes up, if we're going to have more listings even compared to this past month. Now, if we're looking year to date, we are down 16.8%. So we are overall still down this year. So there's still a lack of supply in the real estate market in Windsor, Essex County. We look at sales from June of this year compared to June of last year. We're down, almost 3.5% here as far as sales. So not a whole lot when you compare month over month. But we did have these 2 months where we did have a dramatic decrease in sales. But we're looking here to resume back to our natural pattern as far as sales went from comparing this year to last year. Now, sales year to date, we are down almost 18.5%, which is putting stress on the real estate market as far as buyers. So we have lower amounts of inventory, and we have lower amounts of sales because of that low inventory, but we still have a lot of approved buyers out there that are continuing to struggle a little bit. And because of the bidding action, we see prices rising. And as we look on to the next chart here, average price in June of this year compared to June of last year, we're up to $406,000. Now that's a number that we haven't seen yet as far as average price, but we see that we were in the 380s. We dipped a little bit, and now we're back up. And if we look at last year prices steadily went upwards, and when May hit, we had a decline in actual average price. So I think because of these months, April and May, being a bit of a struggle as far as, and even March, so these 3 months here, because of the global situation that we were in, a lot of the action we're seeing this month is because of the lack of action these 3 months. So we've seen a dramatic rise in average price here. When we're looking at the average price year to date, we're looking at 14.69%. So as we see here, the average price year to date was declining a bit, and now we're back up. So we are still up. And last year's trend, it went up to April and kind of went sideways for a few months. Residential units sold by price range. If you're approved under 300,000, this is a tough market right here. This market here, there's a lot of buyers looking in this market, and if you look at the sales numbers, there's not a lot of sales happening here. Most of the sales are happening here from 300 to 550. So these buyers here maybe have a little bit easier time obtaining a property, where these buyers here are definitely struggling, and the prices of the ceiling of prices has been risen. So long are the days where we had under $60,000 sales. I remember those days. I was selling a few properties for 50 and 60,000, but that I think they're going to just take this section and just remove it, because there's nothing that's going to be sold in this price range. But yeah, definitely right here is a bit of a challenge. And over 700,000 plus, we still have some sales happening there. Okay, so when we go by units sold, price ranges year to date, we still see the strongest at the 420 to 550. So what does that get you on average? 420 to 550. You're seeing some done up ranches that are selling in that price range. That's the very high end of, say, a South Windsor ranch that has been improved inside and out, maybe could get up to that 400, 420. We see that raised ranches are minimum now, for in the fours, 420. If you're roughly around 1,300 square feet, for sure you're in the 420 to 550 mark, depending on the age and depending on the upgrades. So you're getting raised ranches, you're getting ranches, townhouses are in that price range. Some high-end condos you're seeing in that price range. So there's definitely those are the type of properties you're finding in that price range. Sometimes you'll find some 2 stories that maybe need a little upgrades or are upgraded decently and are getting into that 500, 550 mark. Where you are finding in these price ranges, 180 to 220. You're definitely looking in downtown area, west side, Henry Ford Center area. And as we go up the chain here, we're getting into Walkerville, South Walkerville, East Windsor, those type of areas. So I'm going to focus here on Windsor, LaSalle, and Tecumseh. I have sold property in Kingsville, Amherstburg, Lakeshore, Bell River, Essex. But I'm just going to focus on these 3 areas because these are the broad areas of the market and the areas I'm very familiar with, that I do a lot of business in. So we're looking here at a historic sale price trend. So now we see that over the course of a decade, we had prices in this range between 100 and 150. And we see how after our small little recession that we had there in 08, 09, market went sideways to up. And as US dollar appreciated against all currencies, this is when we had this big mountain peak here as far as sales price. If we look at the data here, we're looking at all the years here. So if we're going back to 2010, we're going by months, and we're seeing that the average price in 2010 January was actually 117,000, and by the end of December it was 121. And as we see, there was a gradual rise in average price here, and we are here today at this number here. So we are definitely and these are just for those 3 areas: Windsor, LaSalle, and Tecumseh. I know this number, if we add all the other areas, it's going to be higher than this, but we're looking just at those 3 segments of the Windsor County. Okay, so now we're looking at the sale price to list price ratio. So this is what a home is listed at and what it's selling for. So if it's over 100%, it's over asking. If it's under 100%, obviously it's under asking. So I have this data here for 5 years, and we see that the average list price to sale price ratio has been under 100% in 2015-16. In 2017, you had a few months here, actually a lot of months here, that were a little bit over full price. on average. And then in 2018, every month we had the average list to sale price ratio over full price, and as well as 2019. So we're looking at 2020. We see that the highest number was 115.3%. So that means that 15 on average in Windsor, LaSalle, and Tecumseh, on average, homes were selling 15.3% over the ask price. Now, some were going a lot more than that, 50% even, and some were going a little under that. So this is just the average here. And as we look here, April we're at 3.9%, May at 5.1%, and now it's rising. Now we're at 7.7%. So 7.7% in June over list price was the average across the board. And again, if you have a $800,000 house, maybe it's not going 7.7% over ask. It averaged out. If you're looking in the 200,000 price range, this number is going to be a lot higher. Actually, let's take a look at that. I actually put in the criteria of homes under 300,000 in Windsor, LaSalle, and Tecumseh, and we see here the number is actually 15%. It's 15.6% over list price on average in June. So you see this number goes up definitely when you go lower in price. Let's see what this number looks like in a higher price range. Okay, so now I inputted the criteria of Windsor, LaSalle, and Tecumseh. I went with a price of 600,000 to $1 million. So these are the homes, 600,000 to $1 million. And let's take a look. In February, on average, those properties are getting full price, and now it looks like it's got almost 1% less than the asking. As you go higher in price, there's less buyers. The price doesn't go so much over the list in that price range. So now we're looking at Windsor, LaSalle, and Tecumseh, and we're looking at a time frame of 5 years, and we're looking at the average days on market. As we see here, average days were a lot higher in the 30 to 40 days on market, down to where we are today. So if I click on the data, it'll give us a better idea here. In June, the month of June, the average days on market was 9. Do I see anything less than 10 in these other years? Actually, do I see 8 right here? Was there anything else? No. This is the second month in 5 years that we had the lowest average days on market. So that means that on average in those 3 areas that it took 9 days to sell the home. So when you see average days on market lowering, that generally means prices are going to start going up. As we see here in 2015, January, 39 days on market, all the way down to December, 42 days on market. And then we see the days on market dramatically decreasing. We see here, this is telling us a lot here. We had 15 days on market in January, 11, 10, 13, 12, and now 9. What's it going to be like in July? That's a big question here. How is it going to turn out? Obviously, 2018 in March, that was a pretty hot month, that's for sure. This is definitely something to keep an eye on. If we see numbers start going up again, then we could say we're going to get into a balanced market. And where would the balanced market be? I say if we see numbers anywhere from 25 to 30 days on market, then we're looking at more of a balanced market. This kind of market, when you're 30 days on to sell a house, is it's a little bit easier to navigate, because maybe you can put house to sell conditions on property and then sell your home within the time period. That is something that some people who haven't been in the market are used to. They're used to that. That's what they did when they bought and sold a home. And then they get into this market and are stunned that they possibly have to buy first and then sell. So there's a lot of talk between the mortgage brokers and the clients to find out, can you bridge a mortgage? Because that's a very important question. Because of the lack of inventory, you're not going to fall in love with every property, but there'll be that one property you fall in love with, and somebody's going to put an offer over ask with no conditions, and you can't go in there with house to sell condition. You're just not going to get it. So you definitely have to figure out the bridge financing, and then you got to go in a strong offer without conditions. And the way you do that, obviously, you talk to a mortgage broker. So can we get approved so that we can go in without a financing condition? You have an inspector. We can go in and do a pre-inspection, and if the pre-inspection checks out, then you don't have to put an inspection condition. And if your bridge financing is approved, then we don't have to put a house to sell. And then we really have to aggressively market and price your home to sell and make the transition over, which I've done for my last few clients recently. So this is definitely some data to keep an eye out on. Okay, that concludes June 2020's report. I hope you liked it. I hope you got some kind of information that is going to help you if you're looking to buy or sell real estate, get a little introduction of the market. Of course, I'm here for you. You can give me a call, email, or text message me anytime. I'm just loving to meet new people and helping them out with their goals, real estate goals. So reach out, and like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. See you next month. Take care.